Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you the 2022 Hyundai Ioniq 5. This is the SE trim. That means this is the base trim, and there's 4 trims you could choose from. There's the SE standard range, SE, SEL Unlimited. But let me go ahead and show you this base trim and show you all the features it has. Here is what underneath the hood of this 2022 Ioniq 5. This car has all-wheel drive, basically has a motor in the front and one in the back, and this Ioniq 5 has 77.4 kilowatt hour battery, and it does produce 320 horses. And if you guys are curious about the charging time, it does take 8.5 hours on a 240 volt outlet, and the range on this Ioniq 5 is 256. And there's a storage place right here, and if you guys get the standard range, I think it has less range than this one. I think it's around 200 miles. And if you guys get the rear-wheel drive version of this SE trim, I think the range is around 303 miles on a full charge. And by the way guys, there is not a lot of space right here in the front, so there's this storage place, but I really wish that Hyundai made the storage place a little bit bigger. So if you guys are curious about the color is called Atlas White, and it does look very good on this 2022 Ioniq 5. And I think this is actually my favorite color on the Ioniq 5. There is another Ioniq 5. It is the SEL trim, which I reviewed, but I did review it in the blue color. This one is finished in gray, and I do think it looks good, and it does. This color does definitely add this modern / futuristic look to the Ioniq 5. But definitely this white looks very, very good. Anyways, coming to the front, I love the design. Since this is the SE trim, it's not going to have LED turn signal indicators here in the front. If you go for the limited trim, it will have LED turn signal indicators, and the turn signal indicators are located in the bottom. And honestly, this base trim doesn't even look like a base trim, so Hyundai did a great job with the design. And for the headlights, they look amazing. I really like the daytime running light. And for the headlight housing, it is nice and thin, and everything in it is LED. And literally every single place on this car is finished in squares. So if you actually look at this black trim, there is small squares. Hyundai logo is finished in chrome. It is nice and big. And yeah, even inside the headlights, Hyundai paid attention to details. And if you guys look, there is a ton of squares inside. There is this brushed aluminum trim in the front. I think it does add a nicer look. And there is this gloss black trim, and in the bottom there is some flat black with brushed aluminum. And as I said, the turn signal indicators are located in the bottom, and they're halogen. But let's go ahead and move to the side, and I'll show you the side view of this Ioniq 5. Here is the side view of this Ioniq 5, and the side view looks pretty good, and honestly it doesn't even look like a base trim. So Hyundai did a great job on the side, and overall, yeah, it just doesn't look like a base trim. For the rims, they have a really nice look to them. They are finished in gloss black and brushed aluminum, and they're mostly covered, but there is small openings on those rims. And the sizes on those rims, they are 235, 55, 19. And again guys, for a base trim, I think the rims look good, and overall the design looks very good. There is some plastic in the bottom, and I really love the design. And there is some gloss black trim underneath that plastic. And as you guys see, there is a ton of sharp lines right here on the side. There is one sharp line right there. There's one in the middle right on top of the door handles, and that's where the charge port is. And what I like is the fact that there's no chrome at all right here on the side. So all the window trims are finished in flat black. And for the mirror, it is finished in the same color as the car, but the bottom of it is finished in flat black. And for an SE trim to have turn signal indicators and blind spot monitoring system is very good. But again, for the price, this is expected. And yeah, I really like the side view. And I think the ground clearance is 6.2 if I'm not mistaken. I'll correct that if I'm wrong. But let's go ahead and move to the back, and I'll show you the back view of this Ioniq 5. So here is the back of this Ioniq 5, and the back looks pretty good. And honestly, this car looks very small over the pictures and the videos I've seen, but in person, it does look very good. Here is my 2022 Tesla Model 3, and yeah, definitely looks big. And if you guys are interested in the SEL trim, I do actually have a video of it on my channel, and I do have a POV test drive. And right here, they're going to be the Hyundai logo. It's not as big as the front. It is finished in chrome. Ioniq 5 is written back here. It is finished in white. And for the brakes, they are LED. And really love the design back here. They look very, very good. And yeah, overall, Hyundai did a great job. There's this brushed aluminum in the back that mimics the front. And yeah, I just really like the fact that the Ioniq 5 is finished in white, and there is more of those squares right here, which I think adds a really nice look to this Ioniq. Reflectors are in the bottom, and the reverse lights are in the bottom next to the reflectors, and the reverse lights are halogen. They're not LED. Backup camera is right here. Next to it is the button to open the tailgate. 8-track badges all the way to the right to tell you that this is the all-wheel drive. And by the way, you could get all of them in rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. It is a $3,900 option, but the SE standard range only comes in rear-wheel drive, and I think it has the least miles or the least range. There is parking sensors in the back. This is finished in flat black, and I really like the fact that there's gloss black right here with brushed aluminum and flat black all the way in the bottom. But yeah, guys, I really love the design of this Ioniq 5. So here is a key. It does look good. Has a really nice feel to it. It's a typical Hyundai key. It does have some chrome around the buttons, and it does have, this key does have 5 buttons on it. Lock, unlock, panic button. It does have a button to open the charge port or door, and then there is the remote start button in the bottom. Let's go ahead and open the charge port, and it does actually tell you what's the remaining miles on the car. Here is the basically charger, and yeah, the door opens and closes very quick. Very nice. And let's go ahead and unlock the car and open the trunk. So as I mentioned, there is a button right here. Just click on it and it opens. I'm not sure if the highest trim has power lift gate, but the SE standard range, SE and SEL, they do not. There is a handle up there, and there's a good amount of space back here. So nice and spacious, and I think it sits on the same platform as the Hyundai Tucson. But yeah, seriously, there's a ton of space, and the loading floor is not too high and it's not too low, so you could basically slide boxes in or whatever you want inside very easy. There is a halogen light on the left, and let's see what's underneath. And underneath there is no spare tire, there's just a storage place. And one of you guys told me this is actually to open the charge port manually. So if the power goes out, you could open the door manually from this one right there. But yeah, guys, very impressed with the space of this Hyundai Ioniq. But let's go ahead and move inside this Ioniq 5, and I'll show you how it looks like from the inside. For the door handles on the Ioniq 5, they look very good. When the car is locked, they're inside. When you unlock it, they come out. And this is the sensor for the door handle. So to bring them basically outside, you could use the key, or you could use this sensor. And the back door handles, they do not have a sensor like the front. Here is the door handle on this base trim, and it is the same as the SEL I reviewed. So this whole thing right here is plastic. So this is all plastic, and it is that textured plastic, which honestly looks very good, but they definitely cheaped out for $49,000. I really wish this was soft. The armrest is nice and soft, and this whole thing is wrapped in leather, which is nice. Window switches, mirror controls, everything looks good and sounds good. The front window, or the driver window, is automatic up and down. The rest is not. Door locks, everything looks good. And the door handle feels nice and light, but solid at the same time. And there is this trim that looks good. This is plastic, barely any space in the bottom. a bottle holder and a speaker in the bottom. And for the seats, they honestly look good. Really nice design. They brought those squares inside on the seats, and yeah, the cloth feels nice and smooth, and overall the design looks good. The driver's seat is powered, lumbar support, but the passenger is manual. But let's go ahead and move inside this Ionic, and I'll show you how it looks like from the inside. All right, and just like this Ioniq 5 is on, and looks very good from the inside. And yeah, overall I think Hyundai did a great job. There is two massive screens. Each one is 12.3, so the left one is 12.3 and the right one is 12.3. And overall it does look very nice from the inside. It does have a flat bottom design steering wheel, which looks very good. And for a base trim, for the steering wheel to be wrapped in leather, this is very good. But again, the price is expensive. It's almost 50,000, so it better be wrapped in leather. All the way to the right, there is the favorite button. There is the phone controls, volume controls, voice command, and mode. And here is the drive mode. Basically, it's a button you click, and it does change the modes: eco, normal, sport. And yeah, it does look very, very nice. There's 4 squares on the steering wheel, and I think this is the Morse code for the letter H, so basically Hyundai. And on the right, there is this button right here will control this screen. You could toggle through a few things. You could actually go up and down using this switch right here. And then there is a few buttons right here. Those buttons are for the cruise controls, the safety features, steering assist, adaptive cruise control. And here is the gear shifter. It's basically a single speed gear shifter. Basically, if you would take this to the front, it will put it in drive, move it to the back for reverse, move it slightly to the front for neutral. If you guys look right here, there's actually squares, which I think is a really nice touch. And the park button is located right here. Just click on it, and that will put the car in drive. And as I said, guys, there's 2 screens. Each screen is 12.3, and here is the screen. Let me go ahead and show you the backup camera. Backup camera resolution looks good, and it is nice and wide, and the car does make some noises when it's in reverse. Probably it's really hard to hear, but yeah, it's definitely not as loud as the Santa Fe hybrid. But yeah, the backup camera is good. Sensors are right there. And on the right here, there is the wiper controls. And on the left is the headlight controls. And there is the some, not paddle shifters, but basically those paddle shifters are for the one pedal driving, so it becomes more aggressive. Screen looks good. It is very nice and smooth. My camera is actually having a hard time focusing, but yeah, very nice and smooth. And you could actually change the screen, so it's got 2 screen and theme, and you could change it to white. So basically that's how it looks like. And honestly, the white looks very, very good. Yeah, seriously, very nice. Coming down, there is the climate controls. Climate controls are very easy to understand and use. Volume control, here is the tune switch. There is a button to turn on the backup camera. There is a button for the sensors, and for the climates, as I said, very easy to use. Here is the temperature. You could go to climate from this button right here. That will take you straight to the climate control menu, or you could use the screen for the climate and the warmers. So to be able to go to the heated seats, you have to go to the warmer first and then turn on the heated seats. I really wish that Hyundai made a button on either side, or 2 buttons on one side for the heated seats. So you basically have to go to a menu to turn on the heated seats. It would have been more convenient to actually put an actual button or a touch button. And auto, you can change the modes. Fan speed, you could put it to the front. Recirculation, and it shows the fan speed right here on the right. So the fan is speed 1 or 2 or 3. And in the bottom, there is a storage place with 112 volt and 1 USB. And what's crazy about this Ioniq 5, there is 5 USBs, which is insane. Nice deep cubby, 2 cup holders, and I think on the limited trim, this whole thing actually moves. 2 USBs, and you could move this up. A ton of storage place, and you could put a phone right here. I think on the higher trims, there's a wireless phone charger, if I'm not mistaken. And the armrest is very nice and soft. And inside, there is a good amount of space. I wish it was a tiny bit deeper, but it's not too bad. This is very, very soft, and I really like the stitching. And up top, the rear view mirror looks good. It's not frameless, but it is nice and thin, so it does have nice thin bezels. There's touch sensitive buttons for the lights. This button right here will turn on all the lights in the car, and this button right here will basically keep the lights off when the doors are open. There's Blue Link, SOS. On the limited trim, if you click this button, this whole thing is basically a light, but not on the other trims. And for the visor is very soft, so I like that. There is a halogen light up here, and the mirror is actually very big in this Ioniq 5, so good job Hyundai for making a massive mirror inside of this visor. For the back door panel, it does have the same design as the front. This whole thing is finished in plastic. It is that textured plastic. The door handle feels nice and solid. This whole thing is finished in plastic, which is not cool. So come on Hyundai, I think you should have made this finished in leather, and they should have made it padded. And here is the window switch. Speaker in the bottom does have a nice design, and there is some storage place with a cup holder. And for the back seats, they're nice and spacious, and there's a good amount of leg room and headroom in this Ioniq 5. You could recline the seats, you could make them straight, or you could just basically recline them. And for the armrest in the back, it is nice and soft. 2 cup holders, they are a little bit on the smaller side, and there is 2 USBs back here, so there's 5 total, and there is a storage place in the bottom. And that's how the front of this Ioniq 5 looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of this 2022 Hyundai Ioniq SE. I would like to thank ISIM and Key Hyundai in Milford, Connecticut for providing me this Ioniq 5. This thing looks very good for a base trim, and if you guys are interested, they do have actually 2. They do have this white one, and they do have the gray one I showed you at the beginning of the video. And if you guys would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and as always, I'll see you next time.